Man, what is poppin'? Finally, I have the video. Here we are. Smogon Tour 25 finals. Blunder versus SoulWind. This is my first individual finals in 3 years. OST, I made that in 2015. I lost in a 3-game series in the finals. But I'm finally back for the finals appearance again. But yeah, last upload I think I had was my semifinals. Honestly, I didn't upload. I was kind of busy, kind of lazy. Plus, I didn't really want to think about Pokemon until I was done with Smogon Tour. And I played this about like 4 hours ago at 11 o'clock my time. So yeah, I mean, a little breakdown real quick. Me and SoulWind, one of my good buddies for a very long time now, very powerful battler. We met in the finals, coming from both sides of the bracket, playing 3 other people. You can check those uploads out. I uploaded all of my sets. Yeah, SoulWind has been doing very well lately in tournaments. He has been killing it. He just came off OST finals, which he lost. So, you know, we got that connection kind of. We both have thrown away in OST finals. Nah, I'm joking. But yeah, I guess I can just hop right into the teams. SoulWind is the higher seed than me. So I knew he would end up picking black-white because he had been like 2nd or 3rd seed, and he had taken all of his opponents to black-white game 1 because he is known mainly as a black-white player. He is one of the best black-white players, maybe even the best one, like currently, like right now, he's like peaking in black-white. But yeah, he's just very strong in general. Just been putting on a pretty big show lately in tours. Man, I ain't gotta have any introduction for myself. You already know I'm a savage. So anyways, looking at the teams, let's break them down. My team is a very old build that used to have Garchomp over Landers T that I think the GOAT, Great Bastard, Hugo made. But I wanted to bring basically the same team, like a little updated spreads and EVs and stuff like that, because Mew in general seems to have a pretty decent matchup versus a lot of SoulWind's teams. Plus, honestly, I wanted to use something I was comfortable with, and I really like sand spikes. I really like sand, like a lot. I used rain last round. I got smashed. I played bad, but I really just like sand. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go with my gut. Go with sand. This has a lot of my favorite mons. Stealth Rock, Tyranitar, Specs, Latios, Mew with Will-O-Wisp, Ice Beam, Taunt, all that stuff. Rotom Wash, Will-O-Wisp, Full Switch, all that stuff. Spadef, Scarm with Helmet, and Scarf, Landers T. So looking at his team, it's kind of like mine, but it's a little bit more offensive. Instead of Jirachi, he has a... instead of Mew, he has a Jirachi. And then instead of Scarm, he has a Ferrothorn. So actually, it's a really similar team. It's just, you know, like I said, it's the way more offensive version of mine, because Ferrothorn's a more offensive spiker, and Jirachi's obviously an offensive mon as opposed to Mew, at least for his team. So with that, let's hop right into it. I'm going to lead off with Rotom, I believe. Yeah. We're going to trace some burns here. I shouldn't have let Rotom get burned. This is a bad play. You're going to see why soon. I'm going to Volt Switch here because I'm faster, and I can't Volt out because I don't want him double Wisping. Or, you know, I don't want him double Wisping. Or I can't go into, and like all of my resists are Mew, which if he double Wisps is really bad. T-Tar, which he'll just Volt Switch into his Landers T. If I go Latios, it's going to die instantly to his T-Tar, and I'm not going Landers on a Volt Switch. It's turn 2 of the game. That is a whack play. Oh shit, what is this remix? That's pretty hot. Woo! Okay, nice. And this music kind of hot. He goes into T-Tar here. I go into my Landers T expecting him, because if he brought that in right there knowing I had Wisp, I expected him 100% to either go for a Banded Crunch, being faster than me, like, or a Banded Stone Edge, and that means Ferrothorn has rocks, or I expected him to just switch out back into Rotom. I knew one of those plays was coming, so I went into Landers T because it covers both plays, the Crunch and the double to Rotom, and it works out. He does just go to Rotom. I am just going to U-turn out of there. I am a naughty Max Tech Landers, but he is a full Fizz Def Rotom, as you can see. I go into my Mew here on the pump. Yeah, and now I know for a fact he is going to Volt Switch here, predicting the taunt. So I'm going to go right back into my Landers T, knowing for a fact he's going to make that play. Works out pretty nicely because now I can just get the initiative U-turn off and kill off the Rotom turn 5 if necessary, which, you know, is awesome. My Mew only has Ice Beam, so knocking that thing out is really nice for me. U-turn now here is a big misplay, going to Mew. I should have gone to my Scarm with Taunt and got up my Spikes. I Taunt here, letting my Mew get knocked off, and that is a big misplay. I should have really got my hazards up. And even though he only has 3 things weak to Spikes, you're going to see why very soon. That should have been my play. So he brings in T-Tar here. I'm still assuming this is like offensive and not rocks, but it is just rocks. Yeah, I don't know, probably bad play. I mean, they're all rocks for the most part. Nobody really runs Bantar. It's pretty shit compared to Mix. But yeah, he just gets up his rocks, knows I won't taunt there. I missed the Wisp, which kind of sucks because I figured if I burn that, my Latios can have a better time. But he just sacks Rotom here, not wanting anyone to really take a burn. Makes sense. Now here, he goes into Jirachi, and I was thinking, man, the only thing this Jirachi can be to beat me is sub. But if he sub, it's kind of going to fuck me anyway. So I was like, I'll just go for it. And it's obviously sub, but it's faster too. So I was like, yikes. Going to Skarm here, knowing that I literally have to throw it out, and Whirlwind. Thunder, he has that. This set is sub, Thunder, HP Ice, Iron Head. That's what they run when they're sub 3 attack. Basically kills off my Skarm right here. I Whirlwind him out, but that's why I needed to get Spikes up with my, that's why I needed to get Spikes up. Because that was the only way I could have beaten this Jirachi long term. If I was able to put up 2 Spikes on the Ferrothorn with my Skarm, then Jirachi I could have Whirlwinded out. It would have been taking a lot more chip, etc, etc. Goes for HP Ice here, knocks me out, gets a crit. It doesn't matter. I'm Spadef, but it doesn't matter. I go into T-Tar here and I just put up my rocks, like whatever. Let me throw those up real quick. As he goes into Jirachi, brings that guy in as I go into Landorus, as I believe he just subs. Oh no, he hard Iron Heads. But I just went to Landorus to get the... Yo, I'm not actually liking this remix anymore. Hold on. Let me go back. Let me put this shit on loop. Alright, cool. Yeah, it started off heat, but it wasn't keeping it up. So anyway, back to this. I U-turn into my Mew or whatever as... Oh, because I predict the Ferrothorn double. Yeah, I'm too fire. I'm going to taunt here knowing he's going to spike. And then I'm going to go for a Roost, I think. Did I go for Roost? He goes hard into Latios here. Yeah, I just Roost there. And now I think here he makes a really great play. He goes into Jirachi knowing I'm going to Roost again for sure. That was a really great play on his part. I can live a Draco because I'm Spadef Mew. But he makes a really great play there, not letting his Jirachi get burned. Right back into Landorus T, because again, like, it's the only thing I can do to get the Intimidate off. And even then, like, Bolt Beam coverage just beats my team because Iron Head can flinch. I crit the U-turn there, which is pretty nice. Honestly, this is where letting my Rotom get burned turn 1 was such a stupid play, and I should have really had some insight here. Yeah, honestly, that was like a really dumb thing to just not think about. I just kind of like clicked Wisp. I was like, alright, whatever. Let me just click Wisp. And now because of that, this Jirachi can just flinch me down. Had he not burned me, I walled this Jirachi forever. So, yeah, because Iron Head does like 5%, right? And there's no chip, only sand, which is just negating lefties. So it wouldn't have been enough. But, yeah, I'm going to go into Latios here. And I believe I Surf as he goes for what, HP Ice for some chip. Yup, that makes sense. Yeah, I know he's gonna go Ferrothorn here, so I go to my only thing that can touch it, which is Tyranitar. This is where getting up spikes would have been nice too. You see how many times this Jirachi's coming in and out? If I had got up 2 or 3 layers of spikes, I could have gotten that thing KO'd and then gone for the win with my Mew easily. I go for Superpower here, knowing I have to go for like a crit or something at this point to get any initiative back, but at this point the game is pretty much like I'm in a really bad situation. I know he's gonna U-turn here on Pursuit. It does 20%. I just made the flex because the game was done. He goes into Tar here, kills me with Crunch. I go into Mew, Wisp. He spams Crunch a little bit. He finally goes to Jirachi. Roosts up. I mean, I taunt him or whatever. He flinches me down, kills my Mew, and I forfeit. So, that Jirachi did have a great matchup versus me, but I definitely could have played this a lot better. Honestly, I kind of regret the way I played this Black-White. Honestly, I regret the last 2 times I played Black-White. In semifinals, I got trashed. And in this, I definitely just played pretty shitty and got taken advantage of. Not much to say. But I do like SoulWind's team. This is the type of team I bring to every game of Black-White. Every game. I will always have T-Tar, Lottie, Lando, Pharaoh. That core is so flames. And in the back, man, put whatever the fuck you want in the back. Alakazams, Heatrans, Rotoms, Jirachis. Man, you put another Latias on there. Man, get you 2 Latias. But yeah, so I lose game 1. Well, onto the middle one. Alright, so I basically told you there's 3 games. Anyway, whatever. You can tell by the video length. Let's get into Oras, Gen 6. As you can see from my team, it is very offensive, very blunder-esque, Metagross, Keldeo, Latios. Man, I brought my boys. Someone brought some pretty fat stuff. I could tell from the preview what this team was going to be. I knew it was going to be Scarftar. I knew it was going to be Mega Latios, Calm Mind. Skarm and Clef were going to be, you know, probably setting up hazards. I thought either Heatran had rocks. if Heatran had rocks, then Clef was Calm Mind, or Clef could be rocks, and then Heatran could be some type of protect thing. I knew that, and then Skarm was obviously just going to be spikes. My team is pretty cool. I built this with my buddy ABR. He basically built it, though. Pretty strong team. I really like it. It features Magnezone plus Bolt Beam Clefable, which is a very retro core. I used that core versus my boy ABR, actually, the first time we ever played in tournament, and it beat him because I trapped, well, Magnezone was good versus him, Clef wasn't. But the point is, Magnezone is able to trap Scizors, Ferrothorns, and then Bolt Beam Clef, Ice Beam T-Bolt is usually able to sweep pretty nicely. So yeah, that was basically the focus, and the team is just really offensive, really just the way I like it. Metagross, Keldeo, amazing core as always. Keldeo and Latios are both specs here to keep up the offense. Garchomp is Helmet with rocks. Honestly, that has started to become my favorite rocker lately. That and Heatran are the only two rockers I will ever entertain in ORAS. I do not like Stealth Rock Clefable. I think it's a pretty cheesy set. Not cheesy, it's just like, Clef is so good in ORAS. I've brought in 3 Calm Mind Clefs. I brought one in semis, I bought one in, I was going to bring one in quarters, and I brought one in my first round too. It's just the best mana. It's one of the best monas in ORAS, right? So I feel like if you ever put rocks on Clef, you are just skimping out. I don't know what that makes sense. I don't even know what skimping means. Anyway, you're just like, you're fucking around. So that's the way I see it. Anyway, let's hop into the battle. I knew from the beginning that the Latias was going to be the biggest threat, so I knew I would have to limit hazards. Honestly, which isn't hard because I know there's no way he's rocking Shed Skarm. Nobody uses that shit, so I was like, whatever. Lead off with Metagross. Now here, I Earthquake turn 1. Okay, now the reason I Earthquake turn 1 because I was thinking, well, let's think about this. If he's going to predict the zone, his mid ground is Heatran on a Meteor Mash, right? Okay, so that makes sense, right? So that was my mentality. I was like, let me just Earthquake turn 1, but no, he just goes hard into Skarm. I go Mag right here because I'm like, nah, I ain't fucking with this. As he goes hard into Gastro. Nice play. Now here, I'm going to go into Clef as he doubles into Heatran. So already mad switches out the door. He gets his rocks up ASAP. Really nice plays on his part, and you know what I mean, it pays off. Anyways, he brings in Clef here as I throw up my rocks. I was like, alright, bet. Now, knowing this is Calm Mind, right? Now that the Heatran is leftovers or whatever, I was like, well, it's probably not CM Flame. Calm Mind Flamethrower doesn't really make sense. Not with a Skarm and a Heatran to, you know, take on Ferrothorns and stuff like that. I mean, Ferrothorns, Scizors, all that stuff, yeah. So I was figured, like, you know what, he's not Flame, he's probably Calm Mind T-Wave, if anything. I go to my Mag here as he Moonblasts and gets the drop. And now I'm going to double into my Metagross. I believe predicting the recover because he got the drop, so I expect him to just recover for free. Now I'm going to go for the Zen Headbutt, expecting the Gastrodon to come in, and that works out pretty nicely. I do a very fat chunk to this, and here turn 9, I'm like, baby, bro, I'm down 0-1. I just got to do it. And he does go to Skarm, and I'm like, yes, I got both of those plays right. I knew he would go Gastrodon over Skarm first, and I knew he'd go Skarm second. So I'm able to really get just a really good thing going. Now here I'm going into Keldeo on the Gastrodon. Now this basically, I mean, proves that I'm trying to scare it out. But I thought about this in my head. I was like, well, I do have HP Grass, and I'm actually going to go for it this next turn and kill the Gastrodon from 86. But I figured, you know, if I bring this in, what's he going to do? He's either going to go to Clef or Lati. Either way, like, I can't Scald the Gastrodon. And I figured, you know what? If I brought this in, he might just recover on the Secret Sword Focus Blast, scout my move, tank it, recover up, and then, you know, go from there. I figured that would be a pretty, you know, whatever play on his part. Like, that is a doable play, right? Just scout the move instead of going into your Clef or Latias. Like, what if I go for a Scald and I 2-hit KO Clef or burn Latias? So I was pretty sure he was going to recover should he be able to tank one hit. And because of that, I'm going to go hard for the HP Grass and knock him out. And it works out great because he does just stay in. At this point, I was like, awesome. I can click Scald pretty freely now. My shit looking powerful. I go hard into Chomp as he goes for the Tox. I think I double here. Right? Into Metagross? Oh, Keldeo again. Yeah, going to Keldeo. I knew he'd go Clef. I go Mag now. I knew I'd scare out the Clef because it's probably Bold Clef, and Hydro Pump does like 80 to that thing. I go for Volt Switch here as he Megas up. I see from that just like awful damage, he's max HP. Meaning, oh shit, this Latias could be a threat. He wins the Speed tie here, goes for Reflect type. I was like, oh lordy. The thing is, Metagross like walls Latias if you get an attack raise, but I wasn't about to deal with that. I go hard into my Garchomp. I was like, bro, you gotta go. You gotta go, bro. Get this Latias off my screen. I Dragon Tailed him out, got rid of him right quick. I bring out the Tran. I know the Clef is coming back in. Honestly, I mean, my Metagross is gonna destroy him at this point. I just gotta play smart enough. I'm able to Scald here, and this is actually a better play than going to Metagross, and I'll tell you why. Well, it's like the same shit, but it's a good play because he will not go Latias hard on Scald, because if it gets burned, he 100% loses. He still has an out in the form of Latias. Anyway, here I'm going to switch because Pursuit, if I stay in, doesn't kill. So I'm like, I'd rather just switch. And I go hard into Garchomp, let him take some helmet damage real quick, put him in some range of Bullet Punch from my Metagross after Rocks. Yeah, I'm going to go into Clefable here. I'm going to Calm Mind as he crunches. I think he might have expected a double or, I don't know, something like that. Here I go for the beam straight up because I thought the double Calm Mind was too obvious and he would go hard into Latias and try to Calm Mind against me, but I'm Bolt Beam. Looking back at it though, why would you switch your Latias into a +1 Moonblast? Like what? But I don't know, I just expected him to expect Ice Beam and all that shit. So anyways, he had been spamming a lot of Gliscor and ORAS. In general, he had been spamming Gliscor in all gens, all series, and so I knew I wanted Ice Clef, so I figured he would just expect the Ice Clef and just go Latias, so I guess that's kind of why I made my play. Anyway, T-Bolt is basically here to beat stuff like Heatran, and that's just exactly what it's going to do. I'm going to knock out the trend with 2 bolts, and yeah, that thing's going to die. He's not going to bring in Latias for the last ditch effort, but honestly, it's too late. I'm going to go into my own Latios. I am Specs. I am not messing with that weak shit. I am Specs. That is the only Latios I run. Pow! Knock that boy out. Win the tie. Destruction. Knock out the Latios. And, I mean the Latias. And we are on for a game 3. This was a pretty big destruction. I was pretty happy with this because I had been down 1-0. I was like, man, you got to pipe up. After that black-white wash, I was like, man, you have got to pipe up. But I took him to ORAS. I was comfortable. It's my best tier, and it did. So let's hop into game 3. Gen 7 OU. Matter of fact, let me change the beat real quick, too. Shit, we playing this now. Y'all remember this one? Y'all remember this beat? Man, this is the song I played on my first ever Smogon Tour series versus X-Ray 2016, like spring. My first ever Smogon Tour playoffs, first one I ever attempted, made playoffs, won round 1, and I actually lost round 2 to SoulWind, but I'm just saying I had this music. Let's break down the teams. This is a really awesome team that my buddy ABR built and passed me. He had been building a lot of teams similar to this. Stuff with like T-Tar over the Zam, T-Tar over the Torn, and then Clef and stuff like that. But he had been really liking Heatran, Tang, Pex, and stuff like that core lately. And he was like, bro, you should really like use that kind of like core. And I was like, you know, that could be a decent pick for me because, you know, in SM lately, I had been using pretty basic balance. Last round, I used very basic Heatran, Pharaoh, Lando balance. The round before, I had used a pretty cool team, the Metachem Coco 1, and the round before that I used screens. So my SM had been pretty varied, and he was like, bro, use this mixed defense Tangrowth. That'll be a heat tech. And I was like, you know what, I'll use that. So the Tangrowth is actually physically defensive, relaxed, but with assault vest. And as you can see, this man brought double grass, so I was like, wow, this is gonna come in handy. I have a modest Zam here, modest over timid, because the only thing you need timid to outspeed is like other Zam, Lopunny, or you speed tie other Zam. You outspeed Lopunny and Manectric, 2 things that don't exist, and I am pretty weak to Manectric. But man, if this dude brought garbage ass Manectric to our game, like, bro, let him take the dub. Like, whatever. You speed tie Ashgren too with modest, which is pretty bad, but which Ashgren is evolving versus Max Speed F Celesteela, Max Speed F Pex, and AV Tang. So this Zam is actually Psychic, Focus Blast, HP Ice, Recover. I really like this set. HP Ice is really cool because it's able to knock out Gliscors, and again, this man had been spamming Gliscor like nobody's business. And so I was like, this is the tech. The Heatran is my second favorite tech on this team. This is an amazing set. Lava Plume, Flash Cannon, Earth Power, Stealth Rock at Z Steelium. And that set is really, really nice because it's actually modest as well. I have not been going with timid on stuff lately, and max speed too, because I'm like, man, I'm about my power now. I have really changed. I used to be very plus speed focused. I mean, on mons that need it, like Keldeo, Latios, Metagross. You ever run those with like modest or adamant, you're stupid. But like stuff like these two, I don't know. I'm very content with running modest. But I saw from the preview, I was like, wow, my Heatran modest is actually going to help here because I have Lava Plume to throw burns out. If I'm able to burn Pex, I'm able to burn Lottie. You know, this thing can really go in. The whole point of Z Steel is because I expected him to run a safe mon, like a Choice Banded T-Tar or a Mega Latios, and Z Flash Cannon obliterates both of those, especially with modest. Gliscor gets crushed by it. It's just a great tech. And looking at his team, I was like, wow, he is so Heatran weak. besides Latios, and I have like the thing to kill Latios, so I was like, this is gonna help a lot. 10 growth is just helmet, your basic shit. Celesteela is max Spadef, your basic one. Pex is toxic, Scald, Haze, Recover. I haven't even used the Pex in forever in SM. I think the last Pex I brought to a tournament in SM was like my first SPL game back in like February, and I lost. So I just was like, nah, fuck the fat shit. And then Torn is on here for defog support. Just a nice mod to have. Some more speed control because my team is very slow with just Zam. This set is defog, Heat Wave, Hurricane. Shit, I forgot my last move. Heat Wave, Hurricane, U-turn or Superpower, one of those two, whatever. Anyway, it's not knockoff though, because that Tang has knockoff, and then defog last. Looking at SoulWind's team, I was very confident I knew the sets going into the battle. Just looking at the team, it's very obvious. Celesteela plus Pex is a very tried and true core. I mean, I'm running it too. Tang was going to be really instrumental, I knew, because it was going to be able to take on Bulu plus Cart, and I knew for a fact the Cart is more likely going to be Scarf than the Lander's T, because otherwise what is his rocks? So in my head I was thinking, well, the Z move has to be Bulu or Lander's T. I knew the Bulu wasn't going to be AV, because he has two amazing water resists in Pex and Megaladios. Those are fantastic water resists, so I was like, what would he really need AV for? You run AV when you're like super weak to like Gren and stuff like that. I was like, bro, he does not need that. On top of that, he has a Celesteela with Spadef, so I was like, this is definitely a double offensive grass. I gotta watch out for that. But I was thinking, okay, if it's SD Bulu, I'm not even worried. This Tang has Sludge Bomb, because if you're gonna run a lot of Fizz Def, you might as well have something to take on, like, you know, one of the biggest offensive grasses. So I was thinking, okay, it's either SD Bulu or SD Stealth Rock Lander's T, and you know, I'll just figure it out from there. So with that, let's hop right into it. Now, I'm going to lead off with Zam. I led off with Zam because I expected the Pex lead or the Lander's T lead. Pretty wavy play, if I do say so myself. How many people you know leading off with Zam? I'm playing. And honestly, Zam just had a good lead matchup versus Landers and Pex. I was pretty sure he could lead Landers too, and I knew it wasn't Scarf because, again, it has to be rocks, and it's just less likely to be Scarf than the Cart. So I led off with this. Now, I can't even stay in turn 1 because Pex lives this. And I go into Heatran. Now, what Heatran does is it catches the Toxic, or it catches the Celesteela, both of which, I mean, either of which he would have gone for. The reason I switched out is, again, you know, I can't Oko it if it's Pyapa Berry, which it very well could be. I thought it would be Pyapa Berry, too, because his team is very weak to Volcarona, as you can see. But yeah, he goes for Toxic. I get up rocks on the switch to Latios, and my rocks are up turn 2. Excellent. Into Celesteela as he goes for the Psychic, and that does 16 because my boy is max Spadef. He goes into Lander's T here to put up his own rocks. Fine with me. Honestly, I'm just going to get up a Leech Seed and get as much chip as I can. Again, the whole point for me in my head was, you know, let me chip everything into Zam range. Go for a Heavy Slam, do a decent amount. He hard switches out into Pex. I believe I Leech again, expecting the very obvious Pex. Yeah. I switch out into my Alakazam here as he doubles into his Latios. I can go right for the HP Ice here because a pretty underrated quality of Alakazam. Honestly, I didn't even understand it until my boy ABR told me. Zam walls Mega Latios. You resist Psychic, you're immune to Earthquake thanks to Levitate, and then Ice Beam is not a 2-hit KO. So barring any freezes, your Zam can actually recover up on Lati for free, which is really nice. I go hard Tang on the Leech Seed. I'm not staying in there, obviously. Pressure him out a little bit. He protects just to get back some lefties, but, you know, I'm only clicking knock, right? So, he goes into Pex here, and I was like, oh, excellent. Let me take care of that thing's leftovers right here, right now. Get rid of that thing's Sludge. Go into my own Pex now, as he throws out a Scald. And now we about to do what Toxic Pexes do. And we're going to throw out some Scalds, baby, and we're going to hope. And I burn him, and I think he burns me, right? Yup, 2 Pexes doing it big. I think here I Toxic, yes, expecting him to maybe go Latios, also knowing that I don't really have any reason to switch. I know he's not going to go into the grasses, because if I burn the one of his grasses with Scald, that is super AIDS. He can't go into Celesteela or Landers, because again, if I burn those, it's like Pex is really nice versus him. It walls his whole defensive core, and he doesn't have good switch-ins besides Lati, who cannot switch into Toxic, so he has a problem switching into Pex, which is nice. I believe we just continue to jerk off and scald each other. Yeah, fitting of a SM tournament game. But I'm going to switch out here and go into my Alakazam, knowing that he's either going to recover or whatever, or Scald, and even then, like, it's just, I'm poised in a good situation. But he burns me with a Scald. I was like, ooh, okay, I got to calm down. I'm going to recover for free here as he goes back into his Celesteela. And yeah, I think he actually makes a double here. I bring in my Tangrowth. I believe he doubles into his Bulu. Yeah, so he makes a nice play doubling in his Bulu, knowing there's no reason I'd stay in. And here I was thinking, oh shit, he's going to SD and catch a Sludge Bomb, but he's pretty smart. He predicts that. He wants to go for the Scout straight up, and that is a good play. Now, I'm AV. I know Recover's coming here, so I shamelessly go for Sludge Bomb here just to fish for a Sludge Bomb poison. He goes into Pex now. I believe I Sludge Bomb again. Yeah, because I was like, you know what? I can take the Ice Beam. Like, it'll do like 40, but I take it. Let me get the poison. Back into Alakazam. Just to trace the regen. That is such a cool quality of Alakazam on Pex. You trace regen, so every time, and you'll always switch out first versus Pex, right? So even if they go for the double, you still trace the regen because all of my guys are faster, so they get the first switch. My Pex is actually super fast. Or it's like decently fast. It's like 32 or something. I don't know. It's for Reuniclus. It's whatever beats Reuniclus, it's that. But yeah. So that's just really nice. So like I remember I was talking to my buddy ABR. He's like, bro, you got triple regen. And then during this game I was like, bro, I got quad regen. But he goes into Bulu here. Now I'm going to hard switch into my Tangrowth as he makes a very big play here. And wait, never mind. Sorry, the big play happens later. He goes for superpower here, expecting my Celesteela. It's the mid-ground play. I switch out of there and I bring in my Torn. That works out fine, as I believe I go into Celesteela and he goes into his own Celesteela. Him going to Celesteela was the right play because if I was Z-Fly, that's the thing to take it, I guess. I go into my Tang here knowing the leech is coming. I want to get my Tangrowth as healthy as I can. That's why bringing in Tang here was a really nice play. Get the regen, force him out with the fear of knockoff. And this is a really good play on my part because now my Tang is back from taking that superpower. That boy is healthy again. He back at 100. Don't gotta worry. I switch and I bring in my Pex here as I believe he goes into his Bulu. Yeah, he goes into Bulu. Nice double on his part knowing that I'm going to be forced out or whatever. So yeah. I'm going to switch out of my Tangrowth because I'm like, well, look, whatever. You SD, I'm still going to take you out. But here he makes the big play. He goes for the Banded Mega Horn. I was like, oh my god. Because it did so much. It did so much damage, dude. I go into Heatran here, which is a nice play, and it covers everything. So, knowing the Bulu is now banded, knowing the Landorus T is now rocks, it is 1000% that the cart is Scarf. I live a Secret Sword at max HP, because Tran he's thick, bro. He goes into Latios. I Lava Plume, I crit it. And here I was like, oh, you see the tempo popping up? Because I told y'all I got that Z Steel Cannon, bro. I'm gonna go for that right now, knowing recover's coming 1000%. Grassy Terrain's up too, meaning Earthquake can't kill me. Even if I didn't crit, and he would have still roosted, and I would have still killed him, so it's lit. I knock him out there. He did not see that set coming. He goes into Pex, and then he hard switches into Bulu, but honestly, I don't have an incentive to switch. Earth Power is going to be able to 2-hit KO Pex at that range. I'm going to force him out afterwards and kill something, so like, why would I be worried? All of his guys, okay, the best part is, 4 of his guys are slower, meaning the only thing faster is Cart, and I think Cart actually dies to Earth Power, so he can't bring that in either. So I'm just going ham with my Heatran. Even the Grassy Terrain's back up to give me leftovers. Modest Earth Power doing a really nice amount, 41%. Yeah, just nice ass damage. And honestly, I'm looking really like just in a great situation. Knocked out the Latios. Tran is going absolutely hamburger. My Tran kills everybody. Celesteela walls everybody except for Pex. It's just looking really nice at this point. Like I could clearly see what I needed to do at this point to win. Even Zam is like gonna be good in the end game if I'm able to weaken Pex. Again, hard into my Zam as he doubles into his Bulu. This is modest, baby, and that Bulu is banded. This Bulu will get sent to the underworld by a psychic. So I just stay in here and go for it. Goes into Celesteela, 22. Very nice damage. I believe I go right back into Tang. I never want this thing getting a chance to leech. And he doubles back into his Tapu Bulu, which is a nice play on his part. Here I was like, okay, he's going to choose between Superpower and the Wood Hammer. But I was fairly sure he was going to go for the Superpower, so I'm going to go into my Torn, and that works out pretty nicely. That was a pretty big mid-ground play, because Wood Hammer would have knocked my Torn out the park, but, you know, it worked out really nicely, and I'm able to, you know, get it going. He doubles into his Pex as I believe I go for the Heat Wave. Heat Wave was in case he went Celesteela. Maybe an overly ambitious play, but it didn't really change anything. I go for a Hurricane here just to, you know, 2-hit KO this / confuse blah blah blah, but he just scalds and that happens, right? I go into Alakazam again here as he scalds again. Yeah, okay. He can't make the double there because if I have U-turn, he's just putting himself in a bad situation. And he keeps going back into Celesteela, and I'm like, yes. Let me get the chip, baby. Here I know Protect's coming no matter what, but I'm not staying in because I already traced the regen like I said. And again, Focus Blast can kill this Celesteela, but why am I about to risk Focus Blast when it matters most? That move is dick. Anyway, he protects. My Tang is back, 61%. I am not letting up the pressure. I Giga Drain here, knowing for a fact he'll switch out because no chance to win if Celesteela dies. Giga Drain on the switch. Tang again back at 100%. Goes into Bulu. Helmet's up, baby. I'm just going to throw out the Torn. That guy dies to a Mega Horn. But Helmet has done its job. This thing is so low. I go into Heatran here. Now, I did a calc, and I did the calc, and he's like 100% Adamant Bulu, so I was safe bringing in my modest Heatran. Yeah, and even then he was locked into Mega Horn, so who gives a shit. But he goes into Pex here. I think I just Earth Power. Yeah, I just spam Earth Power as he just keeps recovering. Yeah, Earth Power again. He recovers. He goes into Celesteela. Protects, tries to outstall me. Back into Pex as I Lava Plume. Back into Celesteela as I Earth Power. I then Lava Plume again. He then goes back into Pex. I Earth Power again as he goes for the recover. And I believe eventually I just get sick of it because I'm like, man, stop outstalling. Yeah, here I was like, man, stop stalling me out. Go into my Zammer as he goes for another recover. And yeah, now I'm poised to just knock somebody out with a Psychic. He goes into Celesteela. Psychic does way too much, leaving that boy at 6. He protects once as I just Psychic again. Here, he fails the second Protect, and I HP Ice. Nonsense play. It actually does less than Psychic, so I'm not sure why I clicked that. I thought it was Gen 5 70 BP. But that works out. He's now going to go into his cart. Again, like I said, it's Scarf, but I have that max Tang, which I was able to keep at 100 the entire game. Bring that boy in, take jack shit. I'm going to just hard switch out here into my Heatran, knowing, look, he either stays in or he goes back to Pex. Do not let the pressure get up. Do not put yourself in a situation to lose. Honestly, I'm in a situation now where it's like impossible for me to lose. He's going to Scald here. Doesn't kill me. Earth Power is going to force a KO here, and he is going to forfeit. So I won. I won Smogon Tour. I got the trophy. Well, you thought I'd be more hyped? Man, I wish. Nah, I was so hyped when I won it at 11 o'clock. It's been 5 hours now. I was like, it's been like 4 hours now, but I was like so hyped. I was like, yes, yes, yes. You check that Smogon Tour thread. I wrote a big ass post. Shout out to everything. I was so happy, honestly. Like, God, I'm so happy. Finally, I got the trophy that I wanted. My first Smogon Tour, like I told y'all. Smogon Tour 21, spring 2016. I've qualified 5 straight since then. Every single one I've qualified. Finally, semis last year was actually last season. Semis was the farthest I ever got. Finals this time, and I won it. Farthest I ever got, and I did. I'm so happy to have finally won. Honestly, it kind of feels like some closure. I'm not quitting Pokemon. I still plan to play. I still plan to compete. Always gonna upload. But it definitely feels like some closure after so many years of playing to finally get what I have wanted out of this game, which is the token. Like, people say, oh, you playing for pixels, but like, I'm not proving it to other people. People know I'm good at the game. Who am I proving it to, man? I'm proving it, like, I know myself I'm good too, but I wanted to prove to myself that when I needed to get clutch, I could get clutch and I could win the trophy. And so I'm so happy I was able to win this. Honestly, it's just a great feeling. Thank y'all for the support as always. I love reading comments. I love all that stuff. The meme is dead. All right, I won this. The meme is dead, baby. I got a solo trophy to an individual trophy. I don't want to hear any Hita Fajita team trophy wielding pussies to tell me about my trophy, baby. Woo! Anyways, I'm really happy. Again, I'm really happy with how this went. I feel like I gave it away somehow. Just like the inflection of my voice. I was sounding so jive. But yeah, as always, thank you for watching. Shit, I won, guys. I'm eating good today, baby. Hope y'all enjoyed. Peace out.